We are in a remarkable moment in American history, and in fact in world history. And that is that for the first time, to the best of my knowledge, we have a major political party which by and large is rejecting what the scientific community is saying. Now, we can disagree about funding for education or healthcare and all that stuff. But if we cannot accept what the overwhelming majority of scientists are taking, and there is no more debate, the overwhelming majority of scientists are saying, A, climate change is real, climate change is caused by human activity, climate change is already causing devastating problems in the United States and around the world, and if we do not get our act together by significantly reducing carbon and methane emissions, that situation will only get worse. That is not really a debate anymore, and that we have a major political party that is rejecting that is extremely frightening. Now, the evidence is overwhelming. According to the U.S. National Climate Assessment released in May, the average global temperature has increased by more than 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit between 1880 and 2012, and temperatures in my state of Vermont and in New England have increased at least 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit just in the last 30 years. By 2100, New England could be as much as 10 degrees hotter. That is extraordinary. The debate that we should be having, and it would be an important debate because nobody has all the answers, is how do you deal with this crisis? How do we work with countries around the world to reduce carbon, to transform our energy system? How do you do that? That's tough stuff. Nobody has any magical answer. But that should be the debate. The idea that we're still debating whether or not this is a real issue when the scientific community tells us this is the planetary crisis of our time is extremely distressing. Planetary warming is causing sea levels to rise. National Ocean, NOAA reported that global average sea level has increased 8 inches since 1880. Several locations along the East Coast and the Gulf of Mexico have experienced more than 8 inches of local sea level rise in only the past 50 years. What we are talking about if we do not get our act together is major cities in the United States and countries around the world, parts of countries around the world being underwater. As a result of rising sea levels and increasingly intense storms, catastrophic storm surges have been rising as well. You know, people talk about financial issues. I will remind my colleagues that Hurricane Sandy cost this government alone over $60 billion. And all over the world, there are projections that we will be spending trillions of dollars in order to deal with rising sea levels, extreme weather disturbances, and other manifestations of climate change. I would remind my colleagues that in a certain sense, this debate that's taking place today is very similar to a debate that took place 50 or 60 years ago right here in Congress. And that is, we had tobacco industry lobbyists coming in here and heads of the tobacco industry saying, tobacco causing cancer? Oh no, that can't be the case. And they brought doctors in here, guys who were smoking cools and putting ads on television. And they were spending huge amounts of money trying to convince the American people that tobacco had nothing to do with cancer, emphysema, and other serious illnesses. Finally, the truth won out, and the truth will win out on this debate as well. Our job is to transform our energy system, work with countries around the world to reduce carbon and to help save the planet so that these young people will have a habitable nation and a habitable world in the years to come.